Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Two stories for you. Firstly, it seems that Ethiopia is considering adopting a legal strategy about its claim for Assab port of Eritrea. Exclusive information we have received, which we want to share with you. What is Ethiopian government's plan? Who is being involved? Which countries will be involved? Where will the case be filed? Secondly, Somalia viewers. Somalia's federal government has requested Ethiopia to deploy additional troops to an area where Al Shabaab fighters are rapidly gaining ground and expanding their presence. Once again, Ethiopia coming to the rescue of Mogadishu government, it seems. Let's have a look at this news story first, then the main news story about Assab after that. Uh, Somalia, viewers, we know that Al Shabaab has been stepping up its offensive operations in recent weeks. All the claims of Hassan Sheikh government of having degraded Al Shabaab's capabilities have been exposed. Governments of Farmajo, Hassan Sheikh have been making tall claims of pushing back Al Shabaab, but on the ground, no significant progress has been made in the fight against Al Shabaab, it seems. If Al Shabaab can hit Mogadishu, it means it's there. It's in Somalia. It's a threat to the government, to the federal government. We know that the US Embassy in Somalia issued a warning saying it had received credible information about attacks on the airport, on other key locations in Mogadishu. After that, some airlines suspended flight operations there. Ethiopian and American Air Force conducted strikes in Middle Shabelle to stop the movement of Al Shabaab fighters towards Mogadishu. Middle Shabelle is the zone where Al Shabaab has managed to regain ground. From there, it could move towards capital. That is why now Somalia's government is requesting ENDF, Ethiopian military, to redeploy, to relocate its troops, ENDF troops from Heran, from Hirshabelle to Middle Shabelle, reportedly. So we could see a relocation of ENDF troops from Ethiopia Somalia border towards Middle Shabelle. Will this strategy work? Let's see. But it's good to see that at least the two neighboring countries are cooperating. Burundi's soldiers are also fighting on front lines, by the way, though Somalia and Burundi have been in dispute about the number of Burundi's troops in new peacekeeping mission. But Burundi troops fought in Balad town on front lines against Al Shabaab fighters. Uh, Somalia wanted to curtail Burundi's contribution in the new peacekeeping mission. Burundi disagreed, and we heard that Burundi's troops might not be part of new peacekeeping mission. But the way things are heating up, the way Al Shabaab is stepping up offensives, I think Burundi should remain part of peacekeeping operations in Somalia. Ethiopian troops, Burundi's troops, Ugandan troops, they have loads of experience of fighting Al Shabaab, and they fight on front lines. That is why now reportedly Burundi's troops and Ethiopian troops are being involved in the fight against Al Shabaab in Middle Shabelle. Uh, Ethiopia will have to be careful. I mean, if it relocates its troops from these border areas towards Middle Shabelle, Al Shabaab could move towards the Ethiopian border. So I think we could see more deployment of ENDF in Somalia from Ethiopia. So Somalia a few months ago was opposing the military presence of Ethiopian forces in Somalia, but now it seems that if Al Shabaab gains momentum, we could see more ENDF troops enter Somalia from Ethiopia. Secondly, viewers, Ethiopian government is considering adopting a legal strategy about its claim for Assab port. Now it's almost clear that Ethiopia is going to raise the issue of Assab at some time. When, we don't know, at which forum, we don't know, but all signs are there, though escalation uh, is military so far, but other avenues are also being explored by Ethiopian government reportedly. I got this information through some people who are part of the plans made by Ethiopian government about Assam. They say that they are adopting a strategy to file a case about Assab at some international forum. And for that, consultations have begun. Ethiopian government, Ethiopian government backed diaspora wealthy people are contacting some law firms, legal experts based in Italy, UK, US, the Netherlands reportedly. So, and reportedly, some diaspora, wealthy diaspora individuals have shown their willingness to pay the fees of legal experts and law firms if they're hired by the Ethiopian government. The first part of the strategy is that law firms are being consulted. Consulted. It's not that a decision has been made, case has been prepared, it's going to be filed in coming days. No, no. So far, consultation is underway. If legal firms tell the Ethiopian government that Ethiopia does have a chance of winning a case over the issue of Assab with Eritrea, a case could be filed. Firstly. Second part of this legal strategy is lobbying, because Ethiopia does not want to stun global players by suddenly making a claim to Assab. It wants to build an atmosphere in support of its narrative for Assab in the big capitals of the world. That is why special lobbying is being done now. Lobbying firms are being hired on one point agenda. These lobbying firms will share Ethiopian views about Assab with major global players, especially EU, US, and others. And if these lobbying firms, through the use of different tactics, through involving mainstream media, through involvement with lawmakers, through involvement with security officials, if they manage to pave the way for the launch of this narrative, then Ethiopia will launch a narrative officially. It will make an official claim to Assad, and it might back that claim with a case at some court reportedly. This is part of the strategy. It's not that it has been finalized. Rather, consultations are underway. I am not a legal expert. I am not an international law expert. I don't know what will be the fate of this Ethiopian government strategy, but I think it would be better. At least war can be averted if the two countries adopt a legal course. At least they won't go for a war. I back this strategy. I think if Ethiopia has a genuine legal claim, yes, it should press its case at some court, and if the court gives a verdict in favor of Ethiopia, then Ethiopia can push for the implementation of the verdict. Hopefully, it will diffuse tensions between the two countries. Military escalation will be averted. It's a good strategy, by the way, I believe. It's not that I back Ethiopian claim. No, I'm no one to back or reject Ethiopian claim. But I only say that a war should be prevented. It can only be prevented if the two countries agree to talk, which is not likely. The two won't talk. Eritrea won't talk. Eritrea says no compromise on its sovereignty and integrity. Eritrea will never talk. And we saw that PM Abiy had hopes of gaining access to Assab during the war. Maybe he was given a promise by, was promised by Asseb, but after the war, promises were not kept, and Abiy got frustrated, though he offered good shares in other Ethiopian profitable entities to Eritrean government. Eritrean government did not show any flexibility. Abiy, frustrated, then gave a speech in 2023 trying to prove Ethiopian case for Assab or for access to sea. Since then, we have been seeing tensions between Ethiopia and neighboring countries over the issue of access to sea. So if a legal case begins at some forum, international forum, it will definitely diffuse regional tensions. Let's see. Thanks for watching.